Hey you guys! So after the unboxing and the assembly video of the new Tarantula Pro 3D printer, many of you asked for our opinion and review of this printer. It's a bit early to give a final review since we have more tests to do, so we decided to make this initial review video and show you guys some of the prints we made so far. As normal, we found some positive things and negative things, so let's check them one by one. The Tarantula Pro is the evolution of the old Tarantula printer. On this new one, we have no acrylic parts and the structure is much more rigid and stable when compared with the old one. The printer looks like the TiVo Flash, but there are several differences between them. The print surface that is included with the printer has holes on it. They are located on the leveling screws positions. They probably made it like this so we could access the screws in case they turn as we turn the leveling nuts. Probably not, because the sticker will glue the screw head as well. But this is a problem since it will reduce the print area. The print area is 240 by 240 millimeters, but since we cannot print over these holes, the usable area will be reduced. We have an easy way to adjust the y-axis and stop position, but not the x-axis. It's not possible to adjust the x-axis and stop position. It would be great if this piece was designed so that we could adjust left and right and fine-tune the trigger position. The firmware already includes the home offset for the x-axis, but the value, which is -12, is not correct. I know that we can modify the home offset value, but I also know that there are guys out there that prefer to adjust the end stop instead of the home offset. The assembly manual is actually very good when compared with many other printers on the market. The graphics are very good and the instructions are very clear. However, we noticed that there are a few steps missing. TiVo didn't make a hard copy of the manual this time, and instead they have the manual in PDF format available for download, which means they can update it and have new versions of it. But if you are looking for a clear and detailed step-by-step assembly manual, which includes some pro tips and calibrations, you must check our assembly video. Check the video description below for the link. The drivers included are the Allegro A4988. These are not the best ones, but are also not the worst. These drivers are known to produce salmon skin on the prints, but since we are talking about a printer that costs below $200, we cannot complain. On the other hand, it's equipped with an excellent main board, the MKS Gen L. It's an 8-bit board, but it's a board that you can easily replace or upgrade the drivers. The Marlin firmware, it's easy to get for this board, and it comes with the bootloader installed, so any firmware upgrade, it's easier to do and you don't need to buy any Arduino to do it. Oh, and it comes with the thermal runaway protection enabled from stock. However, it does not have a filament runout sensor or power resume. They did not include a cooling fan for the stepper drivers, which helps to reduce the noise. The Allegro drivers don't require active cooling, but if you decide to upgrade the drivers with some TMCs, you will need to add a cooling fan. And for the Y-axis stepper motor, which is in charge of moving the bed back and forth, the Tarantula Pro has a bigger and more powerful stepper motor. As usual with the TiVo printers, there is no spool holder. They included an STL file of a spool holder on the memory card for us to print. The electronics are easy to reach. You just need to unscrew 3 screws for the power supply and 3 for the main board to come off. The power supply only has 8.5 amps of output current, which is a bit low, but it can handle the specs of this printer. We measured the time that it takes to heat up the nozzle and the bed, and it's perfectly on track with other DC heat bed printers from other brands. This printer was designed for PLA and PETG, so 70 degrees C on the bed is enough. I don't recommend to print with filaments that require hot end temperatures higher than 240 degrees C because of the PTFE tube that goes all the way down to the nozzle. The heat bed is aluminum instead of a glass and includes a strain relief. Under the bed, we have, as usual with TiVo printers, a big insulation material. You guys can add a glass if you prefer to have a smoother bottom layer on your prints or to get a better planarity. But for the guys that don't need to add the glass, they will benefit of better inertia thanks to the less weight of the moving bed. And as for the leveling nuts, TiVo included these big ones to ease the leveling procedure. When compared with the old Tarantula, this new one has a much cleaner wire arrangement. All the cables are identified and the wire connections are done in just a few minutes. They also included the connection for a level sensor. On the board side, you have all the wires necessary for that upgrade. And on the hot end side, you have the necessary space for the sensor. It can be installed right there. In every bag of parts, we get a spare screw, but on top of that, they also included a bag with spare screws and nuts. This is always a good thing to get. It comes with a Titan extruder, which is an excellent extruder. And also important, where the extruder is installed. As you can see, the filament entry is far from the lead screw, while on most printers on the market, the filament is so close that easily touches the greased lead screw. It's also equipped with a couple of layer cooling fans, so cooling performance is higher when compared with printers with a single one. Since I'm a tech guy that looks at every detail and likes to have everything perfectly squared and at the correct distances, I love the fact that at least one Z carriage is adjustable on the horizontal profile. On most printers, these carriages are assembled in a way that you cannot adjust. They have a fixed position. This actually makes the assembly harder because sometimes you need to adjust the position of these carriages on the horizontal profile, and that way you can't. With the screws accessible like this, we can easily adjust the distances and achieve a perfect carriage alignment. They also included a top bearing and printed the bearing plate. This is a printed one, but I believe that in future versions this might be replaced with a metal one, but in any case, if you guys notice any misalignment on your lead screw, just leave this off, as it will print just fine without it. With this printer, TiVo used a Volcano hot end. This is similar with the Flash model that they released a while back, but with the Flash, they used a heat break with a liner inside. That was not a good choice, but with the Tarantula Pro, they used the board heat break instead. So the PTFE tube goes all the way down to the nozzle. This modification will save some headaches down the road, so it's a good thing they did. You still need to check the hot end assembly and fix the nozzle and heat break installation. I explained this in detail in another video, so I really recommend you to see it and follow it. The link is down below in the description. If you don't do it, you might see your extruder skip and eventually get a clog. Anyway, setting up the profile on this type of hot ends is a bit different. Depending on your filament, you might need to increase the temperature a few degrees or might see your extruder skipping or clicking randomly during the prints. Regarding our first prints, these are the ones we did so far. We started with our favorite test cube. This allows us to check the surface finish and ghosting. This machine has a jerk setting of 10, and according to the cube result, we will keep it like that. We also have this big vase. It was printed in pink color, and it's almost 240 millimeters tall. which is almost the maximum Z height of this machine. You can actually go higher than 250 millimeters. We moved the Z all the way up and we noticed that it can go up to 260 millimeters. The surfaces are perfect and we can see here a bit of salmon skin, but this was expected. We also made this shark in gold color. This model has a rough skin and the printer captured this very good. With blue filament, we printed these two models. The first one is this nice octopus. The layers are very nice, but on the side we see some salmon skin. And this small squirrel. This one turned out very good. Also in pink color, we printed this unicorn. And the print result was also very good. Last but not least, we printed this mouse in gray color. The details are awesome on this one. We are still working on the profile for the Tarantula Pro, but so far I think we have reached a very good result with these prints. The tagged price at the moment is around $200 US. This is an excellent price for the type of machine and for what it includes. And it comes as a kit, completely disassembled. And that's it, you guys. If you have any question, let us know. Also, if you like our videos and wish to support the channel, you can with Patreon or PayPal. Keep following us here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We will see you guys next time. Bye!